Our top stories tonight: the campaign trail heats up in Gauteng ahead of the local government election.
He was an example to all of us.
Trollop denies claims of human rights abuses levelled against him by farm workers. This is eNews Direct Weekend Edition. Good evening, I'm Amy McIver.
And I'm Benito Vegatini. You can comment on any of our stories by following us on Facebook and Twitter at eNews Direct.
Or you can check our content on our website enca.com/direct. With just 11 days to go, political parties are going all out with their campaigns in Gauteng. In Soweto, the ANC urged residents to retain Johannesburg Mayor Park's Tau for continued service delivery. And in Tshwane, the DA urged residents to vote for change.
With the municipal elections in just under 2 weeks, the DA says it can win Tshwane, and it believes its mayoral candidate, Solim Simanga, is the right man to change the capital around. The party is promising better service delivery. It says that Msimanga would fight the drug scourge, create employment and clean up the city centre, and promises to turn Tshwane into a tourist attraction.
People will experience service delivery like never before. The problem is not that we don't have money. The problem is that money is going to where it's not supposed to be going. And we need to change that around.
Democratic Alliance leader Musi Maimane says the ANC is unable to fully deliver services in Tshwane because of divisions in the governing party.
Under Solim Simang, this city will roll up its sleeves and get back to work. Under Solim Simang, the city of Tshwane will be open for business.
But those very services topped the list of ANC promises in Soweto. ANC veterans urged voters to retain Mayor Park's Tau so he can continue providing services for Joburg residents.
We must be proud of our mayor, Comrade Park's Tau. Johannesburg today, our city, comrades, is regarded as the most well-run city by the international community.
And vocal ANC veteran Mavuso Msimang says the ANC is still the people's choice, despite problems.
That is why, even in my anger sometimes, I say, come on, the ANC has to do this because nobody else can.
The ANC does not want to lose its grip on the city of Johannesburg, and part of its plan to retaining the economic hub involves ensuring that the people here in Soweto still see it as their party of choice come August the 3rd. Sikelelwa Mdingi, Thokoza Park in Soweto.
Trollop has denied claims of human rights abuses levelled against him. The DA's mayoral candidate for Nelson Mandela Bay says the allegations made by 8 former farm workers are blatant lies. He says 4 of the claimants never even worked for him.
Trollop has a logbook that is kept from his days of running the Mount Prospect farm near Bedford in the 1990s. It shows that 4 people who claim to have suffered abuse at the hands of the Trollop family never worked there. Those who are registered in the logbook were paid 800 Rand a month or more, not 100 Rand as claimed. They were given monthly groceries, daily milk and meat supplies. And Trollop refutes claims the workers lived under inhumane conditions with no access to running water, electricity, toilets or beds.
When I left, Sandy, the staff all had proper brick housing. Some of them had 2 houses. They all had electricity in their houses. They didn't have water in their houses, but there was a tap at every single house.
Maple Skiepa spent 10 years on the farm working for Trollop's parents. She was given a severance package when the farm was sold, and when she retired, Trollop ensured she had a provident fund and even came back to help.
I never heard of a single bad word against them. They were the best children in Bedford. Trollop and his sister. One of the things I can remember was when Trollop was a councillor with my husband. He fought for us to get a refuse truck in the area, and it even operates today. He fought for us to get a fire brigade truck in the area.
Trollop read a letter penned by his mother that was read out at the funeral of the father of one of the complainants.
He was an example to all of us. A man of Africa, and may he go well and rest in God's love. I want to thank his family for his time and his loyalty and his devotion. Thank you, Cedric. I will always remember you.
And the ANC has dismissed Trollop's claims, saying the matter has nothing to do with politics.
He needs a psychiatric test. He must be tested. I think there's something wrong with him. If you can't remember people who worked for you, people who saw yesterday, there's no way they can make up a story that they worked for Zizi and they never worked for him. It's unfortunate and regrettable that for him to have seen those old people, the way they've suffered in the hands of the Trollop family, today denies them, tells a lot about him as a man.
The Human Rights Commission refused to investigate as the alleged incidents happened many years ago. Sandy McCowan, Port Elizabeth.
KwaZulu-Natal ANC ward candidate Kanyisile Ngobesi knew of the plot to kill her. This was revealed by her son during her funeral in her hometown of Ladysmith. Sibisi is one of 12 ANC members who've been killed in the last 2 months.
The ANC's Ward 20 of Ukatlamba district no longer has a candidate. This after Kanyisile Ngobesi was gunned down on Monday as she headed for the Mandela Day celebrations. She is one of 12 ANC members in the province who've been killed in recent weeks. Family members say they are devastated.
My sister is killed so brutally, shot 8 times with an assault rifle. And there's just no explanation as to why that happened. Nobody knows what happened. And we're still waiting for the police to come and tell us exactly what happened.
Ngobesi's son says his mother should have taken heed after she received death threats.
She was told that some guys want to hit on her. So I told her to quit. Because she was going to get hurt by the people who want to hit on her. She said no, she's going to try and organize bodyguards on Wednesday.
The ANC in the province says the killings are wiping out good leaders.
It's worse and very painful that those leaders, we will invest in developing leaders. And when you see that they are discharging their leadership responsibilities, they get murdered like this.
The KwaZulu-Natal Women's League says Ngobesi's death has given members even more impetus to fight on. And they will go all out to win the ward in her honor come the 3rd of August. Skushangase, Ladysmith, KwaZulu-Natal.
A skills centre built in memory of Anene Booysen has officially opened its doors. The Department of Higher Education says it hopes the institution will result in some good from Booysen's violent death.
This centre will be the educational home to 120 young people from Bredasdorp. The Anene Booysen Skills Centre was built just over 2 years ago in memory of the 17-year-old girl. Booysen was raped, mutilated and left for dead 3 years ago.
We were touched when Anene Booysen was brutalized in the manner that she was. Out of this unfortunate incident, maybe we should try and create a better opportunity out of it. That would also send a message to the whole country to say that we are against gender-based violence.
Nzimande says the centre will be the first of many education and training facilities so desperately needed in this community.
This centre, by the way, is very significant for this place because it's the only post-school education and training institutions. There are only high school in this area.
The minister hopes it will keep young people off the streets and away from rampant crime.
The best thing we can do is to make a contribution to providing opportunities also that can give hope to young people, so that they will not be tempted to rape or be involved in other things.
Nzimande has urged the community to protect and look after the center, claiming that should anything happen to it, Booysen's memory wouldn't be honored in the way it should be. Tim Tongana, Trollop in the Western Cape.
German police say there's no evidence linking a gunman who opened fire at a shopping mall yesterday to terrorist group IS. Instead, authorities fear the 18-year-old may have been inspired by mass murderer Anders Breivik. The attack is the third targeting civilians in Western Europe in 8 days.
Cell phone footage captures the moment an 18-year-old gunman opened fire at the Olympia shopping mall in Munich. 9 people were killed in the attack. There was initially confusion over the number of gunmen as desperate shoppers ran for cover.
As much as we know, there was only one gunman. At first, as I said, the situation wasn't very certain. There were statements that there was one person or up to 3. So we had to close the traffic.
As mourners arrived to lay flowers at the site on Saturday, further details emerged about the gunman. Police say the 18-year-old, who killed himself after the attack, was born and raised in Munich and was still at school. While security remains high in the German city, authorities say there's no reason to cancel trips or events.
Well, let's take a look now at other news making international headlines. And the US has released videos showing airstrikes on IS targets in Syria. Troops have been fighting to take back the Syrian city of Manbij, but there are calls for the airstrikes to be suspended after dozens of civilians were killed. Well, for these stories and more, go to enca.com/direct or follow us on Twitter and Facebook at eNews Direct. Well, after the break, a grade 11 pupil has come up with a new way to keep crops hydrated during a drought. A young South African scientist in the making has won a coveted Google Award. The grade 11 pupil has come up with a new way to keep crops hydrated during drought. As a result, she gets to visit Google's headquarters in California for the company's Science Fair Community Impact Award celebration.
This grade 11 pupil has come up with a cheap way to keep soil moist during a drought. It's a mixture made from avocado and orange peels that can hold its own weight in water. This allows plants to stay hydrated and grow during dry periods.
Once people put this into actual use and reduce the effect that drought has on crops and improve the food security in South Africa. So that is what I want at the end of the day, for it to go commercial and actually help people out there.
Google says it's only the second time that an African has featured amongst the winners. The technology company uses the awards to inspire young people.
So we're trying to encourage children to think critically, to think creatively, to come up with solutions to all sorts of scientific problems. We have problems in our lives every single day, no matter how old we are, and making children aware that they can actually help solve those problems. It doesn't matter how young or old you are.
Google will be paying for Nurjan to attend the science fair in the United States later this year. 2 other young South Africans in another category also stand the chance to be amongst 16 global finalists at the fair. Teresa Taylor, Johannesburg.
And on that light note, Joel Guy is up next with your weather forecast.
Welcome to the Weather Center. Chilly weather continued to grip southern South Africa throughout Saturday thanks to this cold front that has been pushing rain-bearing clouds into the Western and Eastern Cape provinces, maintaining isolated rain showers over these parts of South Africa. We also had lots of cloud pushing into the southern areas of the KwaZulu-Natal province. Otherwise, the rest of South Africa continued to enjoy sunny weather throughout Saturday. And now for a summary of how things are going to look like for your Sunday. It's going to be colder across eastern South Africa with isolated to scattered rain and thunder showers starting over the southeast and spreading into central South Africa in the evening. Significant snowfalls reaching up to 20 centimeters in places are forecast across Lesotho, the Drakensberg Mountains, and the northeastern parts of the Eastern Cape. It's going to be dry and warmer across western South Africa. Now, Sunday is going to be cloudy, pretty wet and bitterly cold across much of KwaZulu-Natal, particularly over the interior where temperatures are going to fail to reach 10 degrees. Isolated rain showers are forecast for the central and eastern areas of the Eastern Cape. It's also going to be pretty cold for much of the province. Mostly sunny skies are forecast over the northern and western parts of the Western Cape. Afternoon temperatures warming up a touch in places Cape Town, Langebaan and Worcester peaking at around 15 degrees. It's going to be sunny across the Northern Cape. However, we stay with cold temperatures for the southern areas, high of 15 for Kimberley, Postmasburg and Appington. Isolated rain and thunder showers are forecast across the Free State, cold for Bethlehem and Harrismith with highs barely reaching 9 degrees. Thunder showers are also forecast for the eastern parts of the northwest. A high of 20 is forecast around Rustenburg. It's going to be partly cloudy and dry for much of Limpopo with colder afternoon temperatures. A few sprinkles are forecast around Tsanin. It's going to be unsettled across the Mpumalanga province. Colder afternoon temperatures in most areas. Emelo managing a high of just 10 degrees. Thunder showers are also forecast across Gauteng, where cooler afternoon temperatures are expected. Pretoria peaking at 19 degrees. Very unsettled weather is forecast on Monday across the bulk of South Africa. Snowfalls are forecast over the southern areas. Similar weather is expected across the country on Tuesday.
Well, here's a recap of your top stories now. The campaign trail heats up in Gauteng ahead of the local government election. And that's a wrap from the eNews Direct team.
Up next on ETV is Mr. Bones 1.
To share your views, you can send an email to enewsdirect@etv.co.za.
Or you can chat to us on Twitter and Facebook at eNews Direct.
Till next time, take care and good night.